What's going on, everybody? Today's episode, we talk about, well, me. Let's get into it.
The uFormance Fitness and Nutrition Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 1 of the uFormance Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Todd, and today we're going to have a short but sweet podcast. It's going to be about me and some of the expectations I have going forward with this podcast thing. It's all new. All right, so kid me. Well, I was born in probably what you call mid-east Ontario. It was a small town just north, just about an hour north of Toronto. As long as I can remember, I've always been a pretty active kid. Both my parents played baseball, so I was always at a baseball diamond. Probably explains my love of the game. Um, I would go dirt biking with my dad, mountain biking with friends. Winters were always filled with skating, pond hockey, sledding, both on snowmobiles and GT snow racers. I don't know if anybody remembers those things. Um, Summers were usually spent up in Muskoka. It's a couple hours north of Barrie. Cottage country is what we'd call it. Um, we had a trailer that we had there. Um, every day consisted pretty much of myself and two of my friends. We played baseball or horse in the field pretty much all day. We'd only break when we had to eat or if it was raining. Um, there was a lake there, so we'd go there and swim if it got too hot. Um, it's really good times. I really miss those days. Uh, in school, I was on the baseball, volleyball, and track teams. This is elementary school. Um, in the first couple years of high school, I didn't really join as many sports teams. I did play on the rugby team for a little bit. Um, so yeah, that was pretty much me as a kid, as far as sports and activity went. Moving on to adult me. So we're skipping ahead a bunch of years. Pretty much at this point, I've actually moved from Barrie to where I am now. So I'm in London, which is part of southwestern Ontario. It's about 2 or 3 hours away from, um, where I grew up. I graduated high school and have gone to college. I've studied computer programming. I stopped playing sports for quite a while. Just didn't have time and money to really play. I did join a gym. To be honest, really wasn't too concerned or didn't really go as much as I probably should have. Um, at this point, I married my high school sweetheart, and we were on our way to starting our family. We were saving up for a house, and thinking about having kids. I didn't realize how much I missed playing sports. I think around now, it'd been about 8 years since I played almost anything. Um, I, I joined well, it was a beer league softball baseball team. A friend of mine had played before, and he asked if I wanted to play, and I did, and it was awesome. I really really missed playing sports. Um, Now, from high school, around the time of our first child that was born, I'd actually gained quite a bit of weight. And around 2000, when I graduated high school and started college, I was probably around 135 pounds soaking wet. Now I'm 6'1", so you can imagine I was a bit of a rail. Um, and by around 2006, 2007, when our child was born, I ballooned up to about 270 pounds. Um, and you can imagine I didn't really want to be that person who couldn't play with their kids because I was too big and too out of shape. So I eventually just pulled up my big girl panties and uh, you know, got to do something about it. I started working out and eating better. Um, I've got to give props to my mom. She was at that point doing Pilates and personal training, so she whipped me into shape, and I dropped down to about 200 pounds a little after our son was born. Now, since then, um, I've played on, I don't know, I think three volleyball teams at the same time. One of them was a competitive men's team. I joined a men's senior hardball team. It was for people, 20 and up. I played and managed a co-ed softball team for a couple years, and I started playing hockey on a regular basis. Um, Now I have two kids who I'm very active with. I coach their baseball and hockey teams. Actually, before the current pandemic hit, I was on the ice about 5 to 6 times a week between coaching and my playing. Oh, I forgot that I also played on a competitive men's soccer team, both indoor 5v5 and just regular outdoor. This is all while working full time and being a husband and dad. Heck, even at work, my friends and I would either play catch or frisbee at lunch. So, you know, since my kids were born, I've become fairly active. Now, work and business. Since I went to school for computer programming, I've pretty much had a desk job since college. I did some data entry analyst work in the auto industry. Then I did some tech support for an American internet provider. I spent the next little over 10 years, or close to around 10 years, in the insurance industry in various positions. I eventually worked up towards system administrator role. Um, an opportunity came by to become an IT manager for a Canadian retailer. It was something that I really just couldn't pass up. Unfortunately, they went bankrupt and I was out of a job. Um, I took the severance and was able to spend time at home with my kids. Sure, my wife hated it, but she kind of got over it, sort of, not really. Um, it was around here that I was thinking about taking my fitness journey and passion to, a little more seriously, to the next level. Um, I'd been doing some training workouts, and some leading some yoga sessions at my previous place of employment prior to the retail job, and um, I really, really enjoyed that. You know, Being a coach, I loved watching people progress and learn and follow along with things that you know that that I created. Um, so in my time off, you know I've gained some certifications. I'm an ISSA personal trainer. I'm working towards my certification in strength and conditioning. I went and got my PN1, the precision nutrition certification for nutrition coaching. Um, and now with from the full support of my wife, we talked it over. Uh, I I'm back in school. I'm back in school to become a physiotherapist and occupational therapist assistant. Through all this, the training and some of the coaching stuff that I've done, I had landed this wicked job. Um, but unfortunately, stupid, I had to put it on hold because of this, crazy pandemic that we're in right now. I was hired to be the athletic trainer for the London Majors. They are It's a baseball team, local baseball team that is part of the Intercounty Baseball League, which is a Canadian Independent Baseball League. comprises of teams of college players, and there's former professionals from North America and pretty much all over the world. Um, quick point: the players aren't paid, so to maintain the players' NCAA eligibility, um, it's that's what they have to do. But it is more or less kind of a professional um, baseball league. I'm kind of PO'd about that. And again, that is completely out of my control. Needless to say, um, this is the direction I want to go eventually. I'd love to be, an athletic trainer for, a professional team, whether it be, you know, AAA baseball or MLB, professional hockey. That's kind of the direction I'd love to go. Um, so currently with uFormance, which I created at the tail end of when that company was going bankrupt, you know, uh, my goal is to provide online fitness and nutrition coaching, as well as one-on-one and group training sessions, which I currently do right now. I have a couple younger athletes that I train. Um, these are some of the hockey athletes that I've coached, and they want to make sure that they can be the best that they are on the ice. Um, you know, I love and I like to work with athletes, but honestly, I want to train anyone that has made the decision to take their health seriously, and they want to make sure that they live a happy and healthy life. Um, so yeah, in a nutshell, that's me. As you can tell, I love sports. I love coaching, and I hope you come back to hear more of what I have to say. Thanks for listening. Next episode, I'm going to take a look at some of the best equipment that you can use at home in general, or if you're still not able to go to the gym because of the crazy time we're in at the moment. Don't forget to visit me on YouTube and Instagram. The links are available in the show notes. Have an awesome day.
The uFormance Fitness and Nutrition Podcasts.